Hey everybody, this is Stacy Rossetti. I'm here to teach you how to get started in real estate investing. So thank you so much for being here. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. All right, and let me see here. I'm talking. So let me see, hang on. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Today, we're going to be doing a case study on a facility that we have in Middle Georgia. And, if you think about Georgia, you think of like the north, and then you think of the Atlanta area, then you think of like Middle Georgia, and then South Georgia is kind of how you look at it. And this one's kind of right in the middle, just south of the Atlanta market, south of Macon, and it's in Americus. And so what I'm going to do today is go through how I found it, how I funded it, and how I'm running this facility. So again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get started. Okay, let me see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and just kind of show you how, all about this property and how easy it is for you to find something like this as well too. Okay, so just a real quick update. I own Storage Nerds. Storage Nerds is an online education platform where you can learn how to get started in self-storage investing. And so if you go to storagenerds.com, let me share my screen here. And yeah, right here. If I do entire screen, does that work? Yeah, entire screen. Okay. All right. So if you go to storagenerds.com, this is what it looks like. Okay. And then you can click on either Academy or Acquisitions. Those are the two programs that we're offering right now. And Academy is where you can get started in self-storage investing online. It's like an online education platform where it will take you through like some different roadmaps, like either if you're a beginner, owner, or a wholesaler, and then you can learn how to get started in here as well too. And if you're listening and you want to give me a thumbs up that you could hear, I'd really appreciate it, just to make sure. Okay. And also, let's see what else. Okay, storagenerds.com. And then we have acquisitions. Okay, so acquisitions is what's called the storage deal room. Here, I'll share my screen here. So acquisitions is the storage deal room. I partnered with Bree Hartman, and we built out what's called the storage deal room. And the storage deal room is where you do not have to do the dirty work. You can just join us and we will find a deal for you to purchase. Okay, so I'm going to go through all of the things that you need to do in order to find a deal. And the truth is most people kind of get hung up on these first, like steps, right? So essentially, you know, uh, how do you find a facility, and then actually talking to owners, running deal analysis, putting offers in, getting the contract going. That kind of first step is where a lot of people just get hung up on. And so the storage deal room is where we will feed you deals. Me, Bree, and my team, we will feed you deals, and then you get to just look at those deals and decide if it's something that you're interested in. And then what we do is we set up a meeting with you and the owner. So I had a meeting with the owner today, and I had a meeting with an owner today, and it was a facility in Texas, and one of our students is interested in putting an offer on that deal. So our virtual assistants found this deal, and then basically got all the information from the owner so that we could put together a package for the student. And then we talked to the owner and said, hey, would you be interested in just meeting us online? So we met them online, we talked to them, and in the end, the owner basically told us his story, that his parents had owned it, his mother had owned it, she passed away, and then she got the facility from him. And then he's been managing it now for a couple of years, but like he also has a full-time job and a company. He has like a company that he does, and he's just not giving it the attention that he should be giving to it. So he wants to sell. Now he owns that property outright. And so what that means is that he doesn't have any mortgage on it, right? And so when I talked to him today, I said, would you be interested in like getting some offers on seller finance deals? Like, would you be okay with being the bank? And he said, yeah, I'll be open to that. And so just by us talking to the owner and kind of getting his story and just making this connection, he felt like he would be okay with us like making some seller finance offers. And so, so that's kind of how it works. We did all that work for the student. So storage deal room, if you don't have the time to be doing all the work to, looking at all the deals and calling all the owners and running deal analysis, storage deal room is a good choice for you. Okay. Now, if you are somebody that you want to learn how to do it all on your own, you want to learn the whole process and get out there and just do it, then you should be joining the academy. Right. And the academy is basically, it's just like it's an online education platform that shows you everything that you need to be doing. It's roughly around $100 a month. So, and it's just a month-to-month contract, and you can be in there as long as you need, and then you can cancel at any time. So just please check out the academy as well too. We offer live group coaching sessions. So I get on and I'll teach, or we have a student come on and talk about a deal that they have available that they just bought or whatever, they talk about how they kind of went through that, or we have like a special guest coming on. So for instance, like this month, we had a person coming on talking about how to do your own feasibility study on a facility. Okay. And they do feasibility studies. That's what they do, but they're basically going to show our students and storage nerds how they can do their own feasibility study. Okay. So that is really kind of what the group coaching is. That's what Storage Nerds is about. But today, what I'm going to do is just do a case study on one of the facilities I own, and I'm going to just go through it real fast and kind of let you guys know how I found it, how I funded it, and and then how I'm running it right now. Okay. And I'm doing these case studies, like I'm doing at least a couple a week for the next like couple of months. So I'm going to just try to get through all the facilities that I buy, or at least as many as I can. And then, and so I'm trying to sell my facilities. I'm trying to sell not all of them, but a lot of them. And I'm moving on from like kind of smaller facilities to bigger facilities. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to partner with my students in StorageNerds, and this is something that I've been doing now for a couple of years. So, I really want to free up some of the money that I have so I can go out there and partner with more of my students. So I'm selling my facility. So this facility that I'm going to show you right now, this facility is for sale. Okay, so if you're interested in getting more information on it, I'll show you how to take a look at it. All my facilities are, stabilized turnkey properties. I bought them, fixed them up. I didn't do it myself really, but like me and my husband bought them. We fixed them up. We got them stabilized. And now we are letting, anybody that really wants like a cash flowing property to have access and to be able to buy these properties. Okay. Let me see. So now we're going to go back to the website. Okay, so I talked about StorageNerds. So you're more welcome. Come check that out. Okay, and let's see. And then also this page right here is the page where you can come and see the facilities for sale. Okay, so this is americanssmgt.com/for sale. Okay, we'll put this into the chat as well. I mean, sorry, in the comments, not into the chat. And then once we post this out, you'll have access to the video to rewatch it, and then also the website. Okay, I mean the websites I'm telling you about. Okay, so americanssmgt.com/for sale. That's the website. And these are all the facilities that we are selling right now. Okay, so if you're interested, you can come over here, and they're all in Georgia, pretty much, I would say. So you can see here, this one right here is the one we're going to be talking about, the Americas facility. We're going to talk about this one today. I already have this facility pre-approved at $428,000. So what I did is I submitted my 22, 23, 24, and 25 tax returns to the lender. I also submitted my 23, 24, and 25 P&Ls to the lender. And so then what they did is they took a look and looked at the numbers of what I did, and then they basically pre-approved it. Now think about that. I've pre-approved all my facilities, okay? Because I want to make it easier for the person that wants to buy my facility. I want to make it easier for them, okay? Now these lender, like this person here, you see Audrey, she is a lender that offers SBA loans. Okay. And an SBA loan, if you don't know, let me close out. So an SBA loan is essentially like a government-backed loan, and they offer like either a 90-10 or an 85-15 loan. So what that means is 10% down or 15% down, and then they will fund 85 to 90% of the deal. Okay. And so what that means, like on a $428,000 property, you would have to come up with like maybe $40,000 to $50,000, depending on what the lender decides if you need 10 or 15%. If you need 10% down or 15% down, it really just depends on your experience and the deal and, all kinds of stuff like this, so, but ultimately SBA is typically around a 10 or 15% down. And then they're basically, they're prime plus one, prime plus a half a point, something like this, depending on your experience. Okay. So I can't give you the exact terms of the loan, but ultimately they've been pre-approved at this price, 10 or 15% down, prime plus, a half of a point to one. Okay. So if you're interested in any of the deals that you see, you can contact whatever person I put down that pre-approved here on the website, and you can talk to them. Now think about that. So like I'm already doing a lot of the work that a buyer has to go out and do. So on the storage nerd side, right, on the storage deal room side with me and Bree, like we already know all the work that needs to get done in order for you to get a facility under contract. Okay. I call that the dirty work, which is you have to find you have to build your list, find facilities, call owners, find owners that are willing to talk to you, get all the information that you need in order to run deal analysis from the owners. And then you have to run your deal analysis in order to be able to make offers. Okay. And then typically we make anywhere from 1 to 5 offers, depending on the deal. Okay. So that's like the dirty work on the buy side for a buyer, right? That is pretty much all done because I'm going to show you what I've done to make the buyer's life so much easier to be able to purchase properties, not only for storage deal room, but also for my own properties. Okay. Now on the buy side for the buyer, like with the lending side, with the funding side, that has already been done for you too, because I've pre-approved all my facilities. So, I talked to a lender, I sent all my documents, and I've already gotten it to the point where you are just, all you have to do is just decide yes or no. So essentially my whole point of that spiel was that, try to make the buyer's life as easy as possible if you're trying to sell your properties, because that will make it a little bit more like, easier for them, and then for them to want to work with you. Because, I've worked with a lot of owners. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of owners, they don't even have a P&L. They don't have anything. And you say, you ask them for numbers and they just don't have anything at all. So I'm showing you how I do it. I am on top of my numbers, and I'm running my property, as lean as I possibly can. I stabilize my property. I'm on top of all the expenses that I have. And then on the sales side, I'm ready, right? So if I ever find anybody that's interested in buying any of my facilities, I'm just ready to go. Okay. And so on the management side, right, you want to be like on top of everything. You really want to be on top of everything. So on the finding part, I'm going to go through, let's make it as easy as possible for you to find a facility. On the funding part, I want to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to fund your deal. And on the management part, you want to have everything ready and be have it as easy as possible for you to be able to sell that property just in case something comes along that you want to buy, or, something changes or something like that, right? So basically, I'm showing you how to be on top of everything in the process. Okay. All right. So now you can see here that I'm going to go over this Emeritus deal right here. Okay. You can see, just get an idea of it. It's on 2 parcels. It's about 10,000 square feet, 9,500 square feet. You made $58,000. It's about 80% occupied. I'm going to show you that here now, but you can scroll down, and I do have, somebody interested in this deal, but I am looking to sell this property along with all these other properties that I have. These are all like my very first facilities that I bought. These are all very good facilities for somebody to buy and just get started in. You know what I'm saying? Get started figuring all this out. All right, then you can move on up to the next thing. Okay, so the properties that I'm selling fall under Miss Lillian self-storage. Lillian is my daughter. And when I bought my very first facility when I was pregnant with her, she was in my belly. Okay. And so, so we decided to, and actually one of my investors, it was a neighbor / investor who said, hey, you should name your storage facility after your daughter. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Right. So we decided to call her Miss Lillian's. And so that's kind of where that came from. And she's the reason, like, because what I was doing before Lillian is now going to be 10 years old in April. And what I was doing before Lillian, I was rehabbing homes. Okay. And I was just one of those crazy people that was doing like 10 or 15 rehabs at the same time. And I was just going nuts. And I had really figured out how to raise money. And so like I was just, doing all these flips and stuff. And when I got pregnant with Lillian, like in my mind, as a woman and a mother, I was thinking, okay, how am I going to manage all these flips and then also have like a daughter and take care of her and be like a good mother? So I decided I just couldn't do that. All right. So I decided to focus on passive income, which I had not focused in at all. So from 2010 to 2015, it was all in, rehabbing homes. And 2015 to 2025, 2026 is now just passive storage facilities. And so that's kind of my story, and that's how I got into self-storage. Is I got pregnant and I was just like, okay, I need to start finding some passive income. That's how I got into it. But I wanted to let you guys know, everybody can come to my website. If you go to just misslillians.com, you can kind of get an idea of the facilities that we have, but not only get an idea of the facilities we have, you can get an idea of how we manage our facilities, because you have to remember that when you buy a storage facility, you're buying like property, a piece of property, but you're also buying an investment, right? And you want to, a business, and you want to be able to increase your income and decrease your expenses and run as lean as you possibly can, because however much money that you make on that property, whatever your NOI is, your net operating income is, whatever that number is going to determine what the value of your property is. Okay, that's just how it works. So you want to kind of look at how we do things here, and you don't have to, obviously copy everything that we do, but on the management side, on the run side, you have a really nice website, okay, that it makes it very easy for tenants to come to and to book a unit in one of your facilities. I just looked, like in the month of January, we had 17 people come online and book a unit here. And that may not seem like a lot, but essentially we get on average probably around 30 move-ins a month, for all these facilities. So half of them came to the website. They did not call us at all, and they came right in and they booked a unit right online. Okay, so I want to make sure that you guys know that. And then, so like, here's our America's facility. And like, if they want to pay now, they can pay now, or they can rent online. Okay. And then when you click, I just click the rent online, then they can come in easily and they can, they can book a spot is what they could do. So they could pick out whichever unit that they want. And you can see here that we only have a couple left for each of these. And then the rate, right? Notice that it's only $2.20 for somebody to move in right now, right? If they came online. And then they just have to use this promo code, which is 95% off the first month's rent. And I talked about this in other case studies, but essentially, like, we have tried every type of promo out there. We have tried every promo, and like, for us, this one just works the best. And our team, the people that answer our phones, they are really good at selling this promo. Okay, so like, we just kind of just been using that, and then we just update this winter sale to spring sale, summer sale, fall sale. That's kind of what we do. Okay, and And we've been doing this 95% off now for a couple of years, and it just seems to work for us. Now, some people can do a 1 month off, or they could do 2 months, a 2 months free, or 50% off your second month, or whatever you want to try. Dollar move in, and you can go through and check your competition and kind of see what they're doing. But we've done all that, and like we try to have, like, nobody's doing 95% off your first month, so it kind of helps us to stand out a little bit. Because if you do go to like the bigger REITs, you'll see that they're doing like first month off or second month off or dollar move-ins and stuff, and it's just like this 95% off kind of stands out a little bit better. Okay. So this is what it looks like. And then I wanted to show you some pictures. Let me see if we got pictures. And then reviews real fast. So the way that people find you, if they just go to Google, right, and they search storage near you, storage near me is what they, not near you, but storage near me. And then whatever pops up, they just call whoever answers the phone, and whichever one has the best price wins. Okay. And so, you want to have like a lot of 5-star reviews on your Google listing. Okay. So you really want to focus on getting the Google, getting your Google listings up. What we do is we send out a text message like on the 15th of every month. I'm sorry, not the 15th, like 48 hours after they move in, we send out a text message and we ask for Google reviews and a Google review. And so we get a lot of really good reviews, because, we're just on top of that, so like on the management side, you want to be on top of asking for reviews and asking for referrals. Okay, we do that. And I think I talked about this in my owner mastermind last week, but we switch it off. We do referrals 1 month and reviews the next month, and we kind of switch it up when we ask the tenants. And like in the software, in the property management software that you use, whichever one that you decide, you can do like a mass email to your tenants. And you just say like, hey, like we're looking for like a referral. Is there anybody out there that has a referral? We'll give you 1 month free, and we'll also give them 1 month free if they move in. So keep that in mind. If you know of anybody looking for storage, we will pay you in order for somebody to move in. And so we'll post that out, and then the next month we'll post out, hey, we're looking for like 5-star reviews or 4-star reviews. If anybody's got a good review about us, could you please do that for us? We'd really appreciate it. And so a lot of people will do that for us as well too. And we were talking about this in the facility owner mastermind, but in our facility, like for our owners, and if you join Storage Nerds and you own a facility, you can come to this. But like in the owner mastermind, we were talking about how important it is to communicate with your tenants, right? Because how many times have you gotten into a program and then you like never hear from anybody about anything again, right? So you don't want to be that owner of that facility that you get somebody in and then like you never talk to your tenant ever again. So like if we have any improvements on the facility, we will let the tenants know. We always ask for referrals and reviews. And then also on top of that, if there's any issues, so for instance, like at one of our facilities, my husband, he just happened to be out there doing like a walkthrough at one of our facilities, and there was like this hole in the ground. And he started looking at it, and he realized there was like a sinkhole. Right. And there's like this big, he kind of cleaned it. He's like looking at it and cleaned it up, and it's just like with this big hole. He was like, oh my God. And so like at that moment, like we just emailed everybody and we said, look, that we found a sinkhole. We're getting it fixed tomorrow. We've wrapped everything up and put some caution tape around it. Do not go over on this aisle. And then the next day somebody came and like filled it in and did something there. And then we emailed back and said, okay, everybody, like the sinkhole has been filled in. Everything's good. You're on your way, And so it's like little tiny things like that, like, where you don't have to be like nervous about letting people know what's going on. I mean, you want to let everybody go on. So we email out improvements. We added cameras. We fixed the gate. We put new lights up, or any type of improvements or any type of repairs or whatever it is, just anything. We do a lot of communication just so people know that, we're there for them. Okay. And that is why we get so many 5-star reviews, I think. Okay. Okay. And then you can look at our facility features, right? So you can see here, we answer the phones We do online management. We we offer tenant insurance. We have contactless move-in, roll-up doors, electric gate, drive-up storage, security cameras, security lights. All right, so you want to list out all the different kind of features that you have on your facility. And then this is what the facility looks like. So we've got a nice picture here with the sign and the phone numbers. And it's all nice and clean. The gate's looking good. And pictures. That's it. So this is what the facility looks like. Okay. And so we come in, like Pete's the one that comes in and he does this. He painted all these. We put smile you're on camera signs up. Here's the camera right here. We've got the bait stations out. So everything that really needs to get done at this facility is done. Right. So it's all looking pretty good. Here, this is really like Pete's camera, and this is Pete taking pictures. It doesn't have to be like nice pictures or anything. Like it's like he thinks he's like a photographer, And so this kind of and then this right here, you can see this is where you return your locks. Yeah, so on the way out, because what we do at our facilities is we lock every single door, and we have our own lock. We don't use like Da Vinci locks or anything like that because they're too expensive. They're like $20 each. So what we do is we go on to eBay and we buy a whole bunch of locks, and then we basically use our own lock, and then we have a code, and then so everything is locked, just so you know. And then when they move in, we give them the code to that lock. They can keep that lock and be charged $25, or they can return the lock here if they want. If they return the lock, then the next time that somebody goes out, we'll check the box and just note back that these locks were returned. But if they do keep our lock, then we charge them $25. Okay, is what we charge. Okay, all right, so there is that. And then I wanted to quickly just go over the folder. So if you want access to this folder, all you have to do is go to this page, and then you just click on ask for more information, whichever facility that you're interested in, and you will get access to the folder that looks like this. You will have access to the cameras, the P&L, the utilities, the general ledger, the occupancy report, the rent roll, the management summary, unit mix, competitors, the property lines, any pictures of the facility, Google Map, where it's located, Google Maps, the executive summary, the demographics, and then the radius, the population radius. Okay, so when you're looking at this right here, just so when you're looking at this, this is all the information that you need to know when you are deciding whether or not you are interested in the property. All right. So what you do is you gather this information. So this is us. We've gathered this information. And this is kind of what it looks like in Storage Deal Room as well, too. But we get all this information, and then we take this information and we put it onto a deal analyzer, and then we run deal analysis. All right. And this is something that you're going to have to learn how to do. Running commercial deal analysis is just part of being able to invest in self-storage. So what you're going to do is and you can use my facilities even to practice running deal analysis and stuff. All the information that you need is here. So if you're interested in just practicing, you can practice, and you can even practice, putting offers in and stuff like that. So and if you want access to my deal analyzer, join StorageNerds. Remember, I told you the StorageNerds is $100 a month, and then you'll get access to my deal analyzer, and you also get access to the deal analyzer course, which shows you how to fill it out and run deal analysis. So, but I want to make sure that you guys understand that all of this information here, you need to know all of this information in order to make a good, educated decision on whether or not the property is a good property to put an offer on, and then also what numbers the property is making, so that you can, run deal analysis and make offers. So just make sure that if you go on Crexi or LoopNet, or you talk to owners yourself, however you do it, this is what you're going to need in order to run deal analysis. Okay, so that is available to you if you ask for access. That would be available to you through this website. Okay. And then real fast, I just wanted to show you what StoreEdge looks like. So StoreEdge is the software that we use, and you can see Americas is 76% full. It's got 26% past due. right? Which is kind of sort of high actually, but like honestly, the truth is everybody's past due, like everybody's struggling right now, and so you'll just notice on your facilities that some people cannot pay until the 15th. Like maybe they pay their mortgage on the 1st or their rent on the 1st and all their other bills on the 15th or something like this. So like we noticed that now they still get charged a late charge on the 6th of every month. They get charged a late charge, but a lot of people will pay before the 20th. Now, as of the 20th for us, everybody goes into auction status, and then you get notified of going into auction. But like ultimately, a lot of people are paying like from the 15th to the 20th right now, just because like everything's tight. People are just like having a hard time, you know. And so, so we kind of just where we call them, we notify, we text, email, leave voicemails and stuff, and they all know. And I'll say for the most part, people pay. On average, we may get 1 unit a month for auction, or maybe 1 unit every other month, or something for something like this here that you have to notify and go through with. But so that's that, and I wanted to show you just real here the what it looks like. You see, so you saw pictures of the facility. This is the facility here. This is all like 20 by 30. So these are kind of bigger units. And then these are the regular units here. And we typically have people moving out like all the time here. There's a lot of turnover, but that's how storage facility is anyways, and then you have to focus on like, when you have bigger units like this, you just have to focus on getting like a different type of, like if it's like a 600 square foot unit, it's really more of like a business person. So you got to get those filled up. And then so we do a lot of different marketing here than we do here. Like we focus on businesses, small businesses here, and then just regular like tenants here. So I wanted to show you real fast SpareFoot. So SpareFoot is one of the ways for you to be able to market your storage facility. And we use SpareFoot is what we do. So SpareFoot is like they're like a company that does marketing for storage facilities. Okay, is what they do. And they do a lot of SEO and things like that. And so you can see here, this is ours. So you can go to sparefoot.com and then type in Americus or type in even your city and see which facilities come up on SpareFoot. And this is how a lot of people move in, is through this, because what they do is they just do SEO and they just make your property come first, like, on the first page is what they do. Okay. That's online marketing for storage facilities, which I've talked about before, but ultimately you've got to learn and understand how to market online in order to get tenants. Because I talked about this in the beginning, 50% of our tenants come in online and 50% like call, but those 50% that call, they're either going to be drive-by or they're going to just search it online, like Storage and Americus, and we're going to come up online and then they'll call is what they'll do, okay? So being able to understand SpareFoot, marketing online, and trying to get tenants in is like super important. So I wanted to show you SpareFoot so you guys could play around with it as well too. So again, if you're interested in joining the Academy, go to StorageNerds.com, which I pulled up right here, and click on Academy. Okay. And then join and come hang out with us. Only $100 a month. So come hang out with us and come with the coaching calls and things like that. And then if you want to buy a facility, come to this website here. It's AmericanSSMGT.com/for sale. Okay, that's right here. And you can get access to my folders here, and you can kind of look through and see like what is needed in order to put offers in, right? That's kind of like, this would be a good practice. And then if you want to check us out, you can go to misslillians.com and you can check out the facilities, and you can get access to the folder and really start training your brain to look at these deals and put some offers in. I'm doing these videos because I not only want to teach everybody how to get started and look at deals, but also I'm trying to sell these facilities. So if you have anybody interested in buying a storage facility, make sure that you share these videos with them and ask for access to the folders. And I appreciate your time. These things are 30 minutes in and out. And I will see you at the next one. I think I do a couple more next week. So just go to my YouTube live calendar. You can go right on YouTube and on my page, and you can see the calendar. Okay. All right. Take care. Okay, bye.